Hi, this is Drew Erickson back again talking about money, not math, because I believe most people love money without realizing how often it works differently than math. Plus, I love our country, but I believe our government is terrible at managing money and should not control our financial future. So my goal is to provide as much value as I can for you. So before I get into the money conversation, I first want to say wish Thief River Falls girls varsity hockey good luck tonight in the section championship versus Warroad. Of course, Warroad's probably the biggest rival Thief River Falls has, at least in the hockey in the sport of hockey. So anyone from the Thief River Falls local area definitely probably dislikes Warroad, but I am sure in case anyone from Warroad sees this as well, congratulations on getting to the championship game, and hopefully overall it's a good game. Also, on the other bright side, another reason why I'm wearing the kind of a casual Thursday Thief River Falls hat is my Square Day hockey team plays Red Lake Falls tonight. So hopefully overall both TRF teams win. All right, so getting into the conversation. Today, I am reading an article called IRA versus 401k, 9 ways these popular retirement plans differ on bankrate.com. All right, so I'm gonna do just basically a basic overview. I'm not gonna read into the great details. As always, I'll include the link if you want more details, or you can always reach out to me with questions. So for those who aren't 100% sure, IRA just means individual retirement account. It just means it's a retirement account you set up on your own, well, not on your own, but through an advisor or an investor outside of your group. 401k is just a group 401k, which is the most popular number, 401k. But there's 403bs, there's TRAs, there's all sorts of different letters that are put after them. But generally speaking, anytime I say 401k in this conversation, I'm just referring to group retirement accounts. Okay, so starting out, number one, IRAs are easier to obtain, and what they get at here basically is if you have an income, you can open an IRA, and you're willing to work with someone. Whereas 401ks, you have to work at you have to work at a company that offers it, and not all companies do. Especially if you work at a small company, they may only have SEP IRAs available, not 401ks. All right, so IRAs are easier to obtain. Number two, 401k plans may offer an employer match. In most situations, I find that 401k, I don't know if I've ever actually seen a 401k that doesn't offer a match, but usually it's around 2, 3, 4%. The match is, and that can all be built out. I'm not going to go into great detail about that. The really nice thing about matches is it is free money. However, keep in mind that when you have a match through your work, the match is always tax deferred, at least from my knowledge. I've never seen a match that's not tax deferred. And the reason for that is that it's really nice for companies to give you a match on the money you contribute to your 401k, but keep in mind, they're going to write that off. It's nice of them to give that money, but they're not paying the taxes on it. The tax liability or the tax event of that money is still going to be your responsibility once you get to retirement, okay? So whether you contribute to your traditional 401k or your Roth 401k, the match is still going to be tax deferred, okay? So number three, IRAs offer a better investment selection. What they say here, the word better is kind of subjective. It's based off the opinion of the person that they quote in the article here. But what they're really saying is IRAs, individual retirement accounts, have more options. All right, so typically speaking, when you have a 401k, almost every single time I've ever seen, when you sign up for the company, they're just going to automatically put you in what are called target date funds. All right, and what target date funds are is they take your age, your estimated time of when you're going to retire, and they put you in a fund with everyone else your age based off of the distance from your retirement. The convenient thing about target date funds is that as you get closer to retirement, they automatically decrease your risk, which is, according to traditional investment knowledge, the right thing to do. The disadvantage is if I ask you, do you have the exact same financial goals as everyone else your age? And do you have the exact same risk tolerance as everyone else your age? Is the answer yes to either of those? Probably not. So it doesn't make sense to invest your money the exact same way as everyone else your age. The answer again is probably not, but yet more often than not, everyone's investing the same way with no clue what's going on. I shouldn't say no clue, but it's not really covered that closely for most people. All right, so IRAs, on the other hand, you have option, depending on who you're investing through, excuse me, depending on who you're investing through, you have a lot more options when it comes to stocks, bonds, CDs, mutual funds, ETFs, and things like that. All right, so number four, IRAs require some investment knowledge. And what they're getting at here is that because you have more options, you have to be more aware of what you're investing into. And this is kind of an interesting point they're making here. It's really a double-edged sword. So the advantage of IRAs is you have more options, but because you have more options, you need to have either someone you trust that you're investing through to give you the right information, or you have to do more research yourself to figure out what you're investing into. The flip side of that is in 401ks, you don't need a whole lot of knowledge because they just do it for you. But the problem is, are they doing it the way you want, or are they just doing it the way they're doing for everyone else your age? All right. So whether you look at that as a good, positive, or negative is completely up to you. I'm kind of torn on that one. Number 5, 401ks, also known as group retirement accounts with many other different letters and numbers, offer higher contributions limits. All right. So in this category, the 401k is simply, they say better again. I don't agree with the word better. It just means you have more options to put more into. For 2020, a 401k plan allows you to contribute up to $19,500 per year. Participants age 50 and older can add an additional $6,500 for a total of $26,000. In contrast, an IRA limits contributions to $6,000 per year for 2020. Participants age 50 and older can add additional $1,000 for a total of $7,000 a year. They say that's a clear advantage for the 401k, but let me ask you, why do you think our government allows you to put more money into group retirement accounts than they let you put in IRAs? I don't have an answer, but I find it odd that where they have their hands the most in the cookie jar, where they have the most control of your money, where they have the most control of tax changes, where they have the most control over how much money you get back after taxes, they allow you to put the most in. It's kind of like, hey, here, put your money where we have the most control. So I find it interesting that they would have such drastic differences in IRAs and 401ks, considering from a tax perspective and tax advantage perspective, they're the same. All right, so that's kind of, I always find that a bit interesting in the way that goes. They'll argue in many cases, they try to make financial planners the enemy, saying that financial planners aren't good for their clients. So you're better off putting your money in a group retirement account where you basically have no control, or you have very little control over where it gets invested, and it's kind of just a default plan, a cookie cutter plan that everyone your age should be doing. But I'll let you decide on what makes more sense there. So number 6, 401k contributions are always tax deductible. What they're getting at here is regardless whether you make $100,000 a year or $1 million a year, if you contribute to your traditional 401k, that money is tax deductible. However, when you contribute to an IRA, there is a phase out where you can no longer deduct your contributions because the government says you make too much money. All right. So number 7, it's easier to set up a Roth with an IRA. All right. So what they're saying here, again, the word easier doesn't necessarily make sense, because what they're saying is that only 75% of group retirement accounts in 2019 offer a Roth option. Now, for those of you who are curious the difference, a traditional 401k or a traditional group retirement account means you are deferring taxes this year. You get a small tax break this year, but you're gonna owe those taxes in retirement. And keep in mind, when you have taxable income in retirement, that affects your Social Security taxes, or what's called a double tax, in my opinion, and it can affect your Medicare costs. All right, so be very aware of the difference between tax advantages this year versus tax liabilities in retirement. Whereas a Roth 401k or Roth IRA means you're not taking a tax advantage this year, your money grows tax-free and you get to use it tax-free in retirement. Okay, and with an IRA, you always have the choice between traditional or Roth, whereas a 401k, your options are whatever your group decides to give you. Number 8, you could take a loan on your 401k. You cannot take loans from your IRAs. Number 9, a 401k is more secure from creditors. They say in most states, 401ks are secure from creditors and lawsuits, except from the IRS. It's funny how the IRS always has access to your money, and the spouse if you get a divorce. I'm assuming that's what they're getting at. All right, so overall, those are the 9 differences between IRAs and 401ks. But to finish all this off, the one thing they don't talk about is they act like 401ks and IRAs are the only options you have for retirement. Well, let me ask you, would you rather have access to your money while it grows, or do you want to lock it up till you're 59 and a half? Would you rather have other options besides the stock market when it comes to growing your money? Or is the stock market the only option because you really like the idea of your money doing this with zero control and the fact that a certain president can send out a tweet which affects your money? Or other politicians can make laws that you have no control over, which can affect your money. All right. So keep in mind, IRAs and 401ks are tools, but they aren't the only tools. All right. So be aware of the differences between IRAs, 401ks, and be open-minded enough to have a conversation with someone you trust about what are your alternative options, because there are some, and no tool or financial resource is good or bad until compared to its alternative for your personal financial goals. Because no financial plan should be cookie cutter where it works for everyone. Every financial plan should be built for you personally, based off your financial goals and where you want to be in the future. All right, so I hope today's Money Not Math conversation brought you value. Wow, I can't speak today. I hope today's conversation brought you value. I appreciate you taking the time to watch or listen. Please reach out to me with any comments or concerns or questions. And if you enjoyed the conversation, please share it with a friend. I really, really appreciate it and hope you have a great day. Thanks, and go Prowlers. Bye.